Good. So Shizuoka Hobby Show. It's the largest show of its type in the Eastern Hemisphere. And if you do the if you're in the hobby like we are, it's just it's like a wonderland when you go there. Because like the whole city, Shizuoka, is really centered around the model industry. Anyway, so what you have here is it's actually a 5-day show. It's usually around midday every year. Last couple of years didn't have it because of COVID. But it's a 5-day show. The first 2 days, May 10th and May 11th, those were actually industry days. So it's close to the public, but industry guys come in and they shoot with the other side and they cut deals. The 12th is actually kids only day. So that's the day where only kids show up, with their parents or whatever, and they essentially have a field day. One of the things that you'll notice in my presentation is that plastic model building is so much part of their culture, and it's fostered right from their very young age. And then the last 2 days, the 13th and 14th, those are the days that are open to the public. So it's a free event, so like everybody shows up, right? Like all ages, and a lot of foreigners go as well. And Anthony went to the show as well. When you show up, for me, I didn't have to wait in line because I was foreigner. I just need to show my passport and I went straight in. So it was pretty awesome.
Is there a contest or is it just a show?
No, it's a contest.
Oh, it's a contest?
No, so it's just a show. So there's the industry part, and then there is a club part.
Yeah, one thing to differentiate the Shizuoka show from the other show is that developed in parallel. One part is the industry part, where Tamiya invites all the Japanese manufacturers together around one hall, while the other hall is actually the model clubs around. So it all started about 150, now we're going to about 250. So it gets bigger and bigger.
Every year.
And every year, that's right. So I think this year we had about 4 halls. Yeah, we all considered 4 halls. So very proud.
Yeah, a lot of people there. So what we're going to go through in this presentation is I'm going to talk about Shizuoka City, origins, and why Shizuoka, why did the industry start there. And then talk about Shizuoka and its relationship to scale models. Then I'm going to go right into the Shizuoka Hobby Show, the outside displays, the industry displays, the flea market, and the model club displays, which is what Anthony was referring to. And then towards the end, if you have time, we'll do some questions and comments.
We have lots of time, so take your time.
Okay.
They don't throw us up.
Yeah, they don't throw us out.
So where is Shizuoka? It's not a major center, it's not a place where a lot of tourists go to, unless you're a model builder. And so this is essentially the mecca for model building, at least in Japan. This is from Tokyo to Shizuoka. It is about just over an hour on the bullet train. So it's relatively close. I think a one-way ticket to Shizuoka from Tokyo is maybe around about $60, $50, $60. And then the train is usually, most people do prefer to take the bullet train. Yes, it's slower than flying, but you don't have to check in and check out and stuff like that. To take the bullet train in Japan is basically taking the subway here. You just get on, get off, and you know how the Japanese culture is like everything's punctual within a minute. So it's very, very convenient. It goes about, each train goes at different speeds. This one, the one that goes from Tokyo to Shizuoka, it's kind of about just over 200 miles an hour.
Wow.
So it's like, essentially a 1920s fighter. Speed. Here's the view, aerial view. You see Shizuoka City, and then in the far distance you see Mount Fuji. So if you are a tourist and you want to go visit Mount Fuji, Shizuoka is actually the station that you go to. So it was convenient for me because I was at the model show and my wife went to visit Mount Fuji. So it's actually pretty convenient. Okay, Shizuoka scale models. and they're self-proclaimed the hobby capital of the world. And you know, like where else can you go and pose with screw? Right? There's me with the Fan Expo, and there's a number of these in the show, in the city. So
That is so geeky, it's cool.
yeah, Shizuoka, a model city. In the distance, that's the Shinkansen, that's the little train station. Yeah. Okay, Shizuoka. Now we're getting to the history, right? Shizuoka, with its abundant forest resources, has always had a thriving wood and bamboo industry dating back more than 200 years ago. If you look at the landscape, it's covered with mountains, but a lot of forestry. And that's where that it was basically a forestry town. Jiro Aoshima, you guys familiar with Aoshima, the name? First man to build and fly a civil airplane in Shizuoka, established the Aoshima Flight Research Institute in 1924 to promote aviation. The manufacturing and sales of wooden model airplanes started in 1932. So you can kind of see some of the roots that are developing here. Jiro Aoshima with his family standing in front of an Apple 504. Okay, you can see the photo over here. This is with the kids with the model planes that they made, and that's him in front of the Apple. Okay, so following World War II, out-of-work woods craftsmen applied their trade on wooden models because they didn't have anything else to do. This is right after the war. By the 50s, American plastic models were being imported into Japan, and the local industry recognized an opportunity to switch to plastic. Tamiya closed the sawmill in 1953, focused entirely on models, and released their first plastic kit in 1960. And it's this Yamaha, this 1/800 scale model here. This is the box art. 2 years later, they released the motorized Panther, establishing the scale of 1/35 and the optimal level. So again, this is the original box art of that model with the original logo. So this is 1960. Eventually, 6 years later, in 1966, they switched to this one that we're.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't know why.
Okay.
Mark. Attract American.
Okay, Tamiya and Hasegawa thrived during the 1960s. Along the rest of Japan's recovery to conquer that economy. Soon they were joined by Aoshima and Fujimi, and then Tamiya opened their New York head office in 1973. I took this shot actually in 2016. Back then you could just walk right in. You could just walk right in and tell receptionist that, oh, I'm here to visit the plant. And so within the plant, within the showroom, it's a huge showroom. You can see the whole history from the wooden model planes, the whole plastic to the plastic. You see there must have been maybe, I'd say maybe 4 original champagne pieces that are on display. Okay, exports to the rest of the world started in earnest in the 1970s. Bandai Hobby Division, originally based in Tokyo, moved to Shizuoka in 1969 and later established the Bandai Hobby Center in 2006. So Bandai is huge. I mean, Matt, you can probably talk about how big Bandai is, and they've got a fantastic building. I haven't been able to get in. Maybe next trip, I'll see if I can get in. So I talked about Shizuoka and how it's just like the center of the hobby industry. That train station I showed where I had a picture as a screw, across the street is a Shizuoka Hobby Square. This is a permanent area where all the different manufacturers in the city show off all their new releases. So it's a fantastic place to go to, and they keep updating based on the releases that are coming out. So if you actually visit Shizuoka, one of the reasons why a lot of people go to Shizuoka is to do the Tamiya plant tour, but then also go across the street because it's like free for everybody. Just walk in, you can check out some of the stuff. The Aoshima, that Apple 504K, you can see the engine from that plane, also the propeller from that plane is on display here. Okay, so let's talk about the Shizuoka Hobby Show. So it's held every May at the Twin Nest Shizuoka Convention Center in Shizuoka City. It's a free event, and it's attended by approximately 70,000 people, multi-generational across all walks of life. It's organized by the Shizuoka Model and Educational Material Cooperative Association. So again, it's really starting from the grassroots level, from the kids level, and just really, they're really trying to foster that hobby. Now that's the poster for this year's show. Show facts. Show is dedicated to skill models, unlike other toy fairs around the world, and provides a venue for approximately 80 model manufacturers to showcase their products. More than 290 model clubs in Japan, and from overseas showcase 10,000 works in the group exhibition during the event called the Modelers Club Joint Work Exhibition. This exhibition takes up about a quarter of the entire floor space. Would you say that?
Yeah, it's quite substantial.
So there's Anthony right there with his Sukhoi. This is 2019. This 20 with his friend Mr. Kobayashi.
Kobayashi said that.
Kobayashi.
Anthony, how did you get that model to Japan?
I hand bring it on board the aircraft.
You brought it on board, right?
Right, yeah.
Carrier.
Yeah, every year, that's
Yeah,
right.
but how did you put it in a special box or that great?
Yeah.
Well, actually, the foam itself is actually a great work in order to cut all the things, the foams, in order to make sure the water doesn't run around inside the box.
Right.
I usually spend a whole night of doing that.
Yeah.
So besides the water itself, this is
Right,
another big work.
people put their luggage.
Aren't all your attachments also magnetic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
I remember
that.
Or it's got mini magnets.
Yeah.
You know, we ought to do a little session on how to pack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how to pack them for Air Canada?
Yeah.
How to pack an airplane
Yeah,
before
because
you go.
people are shoving their carry-on like they're heavy.
Yeah.
And you want to put your model up there,
Yeah.
crush.
Well, I'm also going to show your F-18s.
Yeah.
Because you bought two F-18s for the
I do this time.
So you showed me the box.
Oh, you went this year too?
Yeah, you went to show too. Okay, here's a shot of the first Shizuoka Hobby Show in 1962. So imagine at this point, a lot of these ships are now plastic. There's some toy items here, but this is what it was like in the inaugural show. I'm assuming that there's still plastic because to me, as we saw, it started doing plastic in 1960. So imagine all these will be plastic as well. You know, completely to tiny mats and whatnot. Imagine Anthony's sitting on the floor like that for 2 days.
I'm not going to sit on the water.
Okay, so some outside displays. This is the front of the show, welcoming everybody. So again, the hobby is supported not only from the government but also the military as well. Okay, so you have like a Tamiya kit of the Type 16 in front of a real Type 16. And it's built in conjunction, it's an event in conjunction with the military. Just off to the right is a recruitment center. So it's just like, again, it's like they have tremendous support.
So on a side note, if you don't mind, when I was in Tokyo, I was at a Japanese self-defense force base. And when I was in there, meeting all the officers and crew, they have a little souvenir store at the Army base. And in the Army base souvenir shop are model kits. And they have toys for kids. So not only are they supporting the hobby, but guess what? They're recruiting for the future Japanese ground self-defense force.
Yeah.
We don't do that here in the Canadian Army, right? That's why we're always looking for people there. They're nurturing little kids to join the military. And that's an example.
Here's some
Are
examples.
they allowed Air Cadets, Sea Cadets, and Army Cadets in Japan?
Not at the, well, I don't think anybody's tried because of the cost, but I'm sure.
Because I know in
they would.
Germany they're not allowed.
Oh, I'm sure they would be allowed. I'm sure they would be.
They're not, my German buddy who's a sergeant in the mountain troop
Yep.
said because of the war they can't have cadets or anything like that.
Oh,
Hitler used kind of come in.
Here are some of the outside displays where we saw the Type 16. So some of the displays. There is the Tamiya bus. So I haven't done it, but if you're at the show, there's also the shuttle bus that actually takes you to the Tamiya plant so you can do it.
Can you build on board the bus?
Some of the outside displays, as I mentioned, it's a family event. So every year that I've gone, they have a high school band, and they're actually a very good band. But you can see the kind of crowds that they draw. Inside is a Chiha.
Is that permanent? Display?
Yeah, no, that's just for the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just for the show. This is actually more, I don't know if you remember, it was just outside of your area.
I think it's fan built, not really.
Really?
Oh, it's fake?
This is inside inside one of the halls. Right?
Yes, it's inside.
I think it's fan built.
Oh, really?
It's what built?
Fan built.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow.
They look pretty heavy to me. Okay, Anthony touched upon this earlier, but this essentially is the floor plan. So over here, you see this area here are all the manufacturers. You see, this is Tamiya, Bandai, Hasegawa. I read a bit of Japanese, so otherwise there wasn't anything in English. Now this area here is where Anthony would be with all Plus, but this is not the scale. If it was the scale, it would actually be way back out here. Because you'll see in the photos that are coming up, you'll see how big that model club area is.
So Anthony, when you displayed your models, were you a part of a group or did they?
Yeah, I belong to one of the models.
Yeah.
It's called the Group 14.
14.
Yeah, Group 14 there. You can tell what we build, right?
yeah.
We all started with hats.
I thought it was the age category.
But since the no.
The ways again, fostering the industry.
Yeah, the kids.
All the kids show up and they get a free model kit. They get multiple kits, actually, to be honest with you. Here's an overview shot of looking at, to me in the back, the Oshima, back over here is Bandai. But you can kind of get an idea of how busy this is. Again, it's a free event. So like everybody and their mom's going to show up. I'm just going to flip through some of these industry displays. Studio 27, if you're familiar with these guys. Kodokia, Godhand, and they also have booths where you can actually try out the tools. Well, I can see you salivating right now.
And they're cheap there too.
Did you take a photo of the?
Yeah, well, no, I didn't include it.
She's one of the maids in Tokyo.
She's not for sale.
They don't like your picture kids.
Yeah.
You don't know.
No, they can get upset in Tokyo.
Hasegawa, they were also selling some kits pretty cheap. Some loose, what do we call it?
Horse.
Yeah, what is it? Horse objects? I forgot. Anyway, bag screws.
So you can buy them.
Yeah, you can buy, right? So Bandai had the biggest display. So you see a kids area here where you can just make and take. But they also have a lot of products that we don't see in Canada. Then you can say for instance, so these are Bandai products as well. So we do see dinosaurs, but you see animals. There's a lot of stuff that we don't get because there really isn't a market for it here. These things, the 10-minute missions, these are items that you can essentially made very quickly. They call it 30 minutes that you can slap it together in 30 minutes. There you also see some that are geared specifically for young women. And that's actually this one. So I don't know who these people are, but they're like social media stars in Japan. And in order to promote the 30-minute sisters, they were actually at the show, and then they were actually building these kits. Right? And I have a video of this, I couldn't edit it in PowerPoint, but it's actually pretty fascinating because they're just chatting about, and they're essentially building these things. So again, they're really reaching out to all cross-gender, reaching out to the cross-gender audience. Okay, my Tamiya. So Tamiya, most of their displays will have the wheel item next to their products. So this one, they're trying to promote the latest RC car. On the other side, you would see the RC car, and they do that quite often. Here's something that you don't see in Canada, or at least in North America. It's, to me, a decorations series. Again, no market for it here in North America, but essentially it's pastries and mini cakes that you can build. But it's one-to-one scale, essentially.
But the thing is, that wherever you go there's all these displays of food that's plastic.
Yes.
I mean, they model food like you
Oh,
go
yeah.
to leave.
Yeah. If you go to a Japanese restaurant,
Yeah.
you see the display, it looks real.
And the food matches it too.
Yeah.
They have that ramen kit, plastic ramen noodle. kit.
Yes. Yeah. That's fun.
Is it on that? Yeah.
Okay, so in the Tamiya area, yes, you can do some shopping. And one of Harvey's ties. Harvey, how many of these do you have?
I did buy, every time I go, I buy a Tamiya tie. And you can only get them there.
Yeah.
It's got a little, mine's the Yamato battleship, but you can get any of those ties.
Oh, so it's speckled with different.
Yes, yes,
models.
yes.
Wow. Some of the displays, so obviously they're always showcasing their newest products. These I've already seen in some stores. If you go to like those wings, these are the reboxings of the 48 scale with the vehicle. So I've seen a lot of those. This one I have not seen yet.
F-35.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. The Sony 2. This I have not seen. T50.
Yeah, this one is.
Yeah.
This one is not out yet?
No, I've never seen it yet. Neither this one.
I'm sorry, what year was this again?
The May just passed me.
Just passed away this year.
This year.
This year, yeah. Okay, so to me, I brought one of the big molding machines over just to demonstrate how it's actually molded. So the way the tour went, you would just actually go around, and the back here would be a display of how the machine works and whatnot. And then you know a small little screw. I think it was a dinosaur. That's what these little things are. Or no, these are the raw materials, and then they just have to actually kick up here. And then these are the screws that you can take home.
Excuse me, who makes the molding machines?
Oh, I don't know.
So
You
right there
don't
on the
know.
left side. SC something?
Yeah, SE7, SEV, and that's probably just the count.
Because the Japanese company, Mitsubishi, bought the Husky concern in Bolton.
Oh.
They're a big, huge molding injection machine. Yeah, so they sell most of their machines, go to the States and Japan and Germany. And then they produce whatever you need, plastic parts for calculators and all kinds of plastic gears and pulleys, right, for photocopy machines, whatever. So it's basically you've got plastic pellets in a hopper.
Yeah.
You have an Archimedes screw that heats the plastic as it pushes it into the mold. The mold compresses and pushes, and there's oil on the mold, and it expands, and then the plastic parts fall into the box. Yeah.
All these Japanese companies have their roots in the World War
Yeah.
II companies, right? Kawasaki, Isuzu, Mitsubishi, they're all World War II companies.
If you do actually make it to meet the headquarters, they have one of these there too. So, as you're looking around to all displays, and they have like one-to-one displays, they have this machine there as well. And it's looking at different things. Okay, a couple months ago, this meeting talked about how for 1/700 scale ships that they knew that one particular manufacturer could not manufacture the entire breadth of all ships. And then so we also talked about, okay, well, then a couple of companies got together and said, okay, we'll split this up amongst the three of us. Well, these are the three companies that we're talking about. So Hiroshima, Tamiya, and Hasegawa. So you'll see, like, even if you go to the hobby shop now, you'll see it was a collaborative event because it was something that they really wanted as a part of national pride. They really wanted to cover the whole spectrum, 1/700 scale, and they just got together, all companies got together and they put this together.
Yeah,
Part of the reason they lost all those ships during World War II.
Yeah.
They only want to produce the ones that they sank of the British.
You ever notice the new rocks aren't?
Yeah.
It's the Japanese aircraft sinking the
But
Allied
it's
forces.
interesting because in Europe, you cannot show certain things like blowing up of ships.
Oh,
The
wow.
Airfix had to pull that many years ago. So there's all these rules, like the rules were that you couldn't show a swastika.
Yeah.
Just the white circle.
Well,
But it's interesting to me because the Aoshima was some of the worst when
Yes.
they first came out. Yet now, when you look at their molds, there's no draft angles on the parts. They're nearly dead straight. Like they have some of the best molding of all.
They do.
So they really pull up.
But I'm not joking. You check out the new releases of the 1700
Yeah.
waterline and Suffolk.
Oh, they're all getting
they're all sinking. The Japanese aircraft is flying valiantly over the sea.
Yeah, going back to the, I think that is part of the 1700th waterline
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the book from Tamir, and he recalls that during that time in the 1970s,
Yeah.
economy was pretty bad.
Ah.
So it was collaborations among all these big manufacturers, but they split all ships, different models among different manufacturers, trying to save the economy.
Ah.
So there's a campaign actually.
Right.
Nice.
I think
The thing is
it's the only time though that they've ever, like a company's ever, I don't think it's been resurrected, right? You haven't heard of companies getting together and doing stuff like that now. I think that's.
Any news on how they, I've heard various things about how they come up with 1/700. Because 1/700 is not a normal scale.
No.
And it's not, technically, it's not a metric scale either.
Yeah.
Did the Japanese start that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but I know that they didn't want to do 400 because that was what Heller did.
Yeah.
And Airfix did 6.
Right.
And, you know, you had, but then you had fit in the box in America.
Maybe they just kind of did a box scale thing. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because that first, that Yamato was 800 scale.
Yeah.
Were the ships divided by class or by individual ship?
Country, country and class.
Okay.
So Aoshima did Bismarck and Tirpitz, but somebody else would do something other year. So there was a real mix, that they really split it all up. So no one company had, you know, the bulk of any navy.
Woody Joe is obviously it's a company that you don't hear about here because mainly they're wooden products, but they do fantastic replicas of the castles and the shrines in Japan. But I just thought I'd just include that. Airsoft guns. Airsoft guns are very popular in Japan, and you get close to them, they look pretty authentic, and they do have a bit of a heft to it. I just thought that was interesting, but it is a hobby ship. There's another shot on the P6.
So they have RC, they have airsoft, it's not just plastic.
Yeah, it's not just plastic. So also additional displays. So board is what has some displays. This one on top of the racing is pretty cool. It's a one plus F111 escape pod.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just an escape pod. It's not cool, but it's pretty cool. Warhammer is starting to make their presence in the US. I mean, we know it now. We know it. We see a lot of our hobby shops. Warhammer's moving into the hobby and taking up the front of the store, right? But it's starting to make their presence known in Japan. Fine molds. So ICM stuff is there, which is cool.
Great.
And is this out here? There's 132, 826
I think it's.
How come?
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
Okay. Ebro. This is how the tax display. That was what I was talking about. I just haven't seen a photo of it. But pretty cool to see these things in flash. Okay, flea market. So let's spend a little time talking about the flea market because it's quite different than what we're used to here, at least what the offerings are. So clearly, because it's Japan, you're going to see things that you don't see here. You see Japanese pieces here. But besides that, part of the Japanese culture is that they really take care of their stuff. You take care of yourself, so it's like you don't get this ragged on your bosses. So the only thing that you see is some wear and tear that is not actually aged. So a lot of these stuff is pretty pristine. And if only maybe the deck was my page, it's really tough to avoid. shots here. I actually bought some stuff from this guy. I bought 2 things from him, but they're all very, most of the vendors, I'd say all the vendors that I've dealt with, I don't speak Japanese, but they're all very accommodating, and you're able to haggle a bit, not a lot, but you're able to talk directly with them.
Is it businesses mainly or private?
Private. Yeah, this was all one guy's private collection. Again, it's stuff that you can't get here. A lot of it is the new models, something that to new model kits.
Yeah, slightly.
I included this because I've never seen 179 sale vehicles. John, okay. They were tiny.
But not to a great extent.
Oh, okay. This really caught my eye because these are so tiny, right? So I don't know it's lately shipped.
Did you see any in there? Did you see anything like photo edge kits? I don't mean accessory kits.
Yeah, full on kits.
Yeah, because I was shocked at how much they had.
Yeah, there's lots there, and they're full kits.
Yeah.
I picked up a 172nd Yonkers G1. It's all photo edge.
Yeah.
I still have it. I can't find it here. You can't find it.
That's like torture.
Yeah. It's just
I freaking hate photo edge.
yeah. I think the point is that there's so many different things there that they never ship out of Japan.
Okay. It's the model plus. So, like somewhere over here was Anthony's booth. But literally, that's why I want to show you the floor plan. I go, okay, this is not actually to scale because it's really, really big.
Actually, it's like the last Heritage Con show.
So it literally took me about 2.5 hours up and down the aisle to see everything, and you're dead tired, and you just have to and you're people in the waiting. So but it just there's a lot to see. There's a lot to see. So I'm going to quickly go through some of the ones that I took photos of. There's an shop display area. So so these are the kind of things that you would expect to see. This one, John, this blew me away. These are all little sailors.
Figures. What scale is that?
135. What, a 350.
1/350. That's so.
So you can see all these little guys, right? And then on this one, you can see like the audience over here, the streamers.
Well, that's the Arctic Patrol ship.
Is it?
Yeah, lovely thing.
Yeah. So when I saw it, I was like, oh man, this is crazy.
That's cool.
This caught my eye because I really like how the waves are. It was really impressive. Really gave it a lot of energy. Okay, so we're talking about the 179 with the water line. So there's literally tables upon tables upon tables. These are all built on display. And then we got another shot here. Yeah, here's another one. That's just.
Okay, so but this is not the kind of setup where you expect the exhibitors and the vendors to show up at 6 o'clock in the morning, be ready by 10 o'clock in the morning. This was set up all like weeks before.
No, just 1 day before.
1 day before.
Yeah.
Everybody ate
overnight.
One thing, Tom, another thing when you live in Japan is efficiency. Yeah, it's an incredible efficiency.
He said the trains were on time.
That's
the books. Sorry, what's that?
Faster to connect with an expansion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We were in Tokyo. The train was late by 1 minute, and they did an
That's
apology
furious.
over
Yeah,
and loud.
they make
1
an
minute
apology.
late.
The neat part though is that you stand where it says, coach 8.
Yeah.
That's where the door
That's
opens.
where the
Yeah.
door is.
None of this, back
No,
and
this
forth.
crap.
I thought into this. I really like the underwater. They put a lot of underwater ones inside. I really liked. Okay, so we talked about the border models, 132 Lancaster, and how much of a chore it is to build one. Well, this guy built around with one, but then two other middle sections. So I thought this was pretty impressive too.
Because that's the new kit, the nose only.
Yeah. Border. Yeah. So it's basically this part, but then you get different nose art on that. But yeah. So this is actually the first one I've ever seen built. Okay, Anthony. Anthony brought 2 F-18s to the show. And you want to talk about how you pack these? Because I saw the actual box.
Go for it.
Talk about what?
Go
How you
for it.
pack them.
Oh, how to pack them?
Yeah.
One goes, okay, this one is easier because the one on the left-hand side got low wheels. I mean, lower landing gears.
Yeah.
So it's a flat bottom. The guy on the right is a flat bottom. There's no pylons. There's no weapons. Everything is inside the enclosed weapon pod. So it's easier to pack. So what I did is one lies normally, the other one I just flip it over around so that the vertical stabilizers don't touch each other. So that's how I pack it.
Yeah.
48 scale here, right?
48 CL. Did you scratch build these control
Yeah,
boards?
that's right. Yeah, the conformal fuel tanks is scratch built.
And
The Eagle is
Yeah.
3D printed. That's right.
that's pretty cool. Thank you.
The conformal fuel tanks are not included in.
No, you scratched
All
those.
scratch built.
Oh,
Yeah, that group
Not that
that
I need to do it, but this one that does not include.
that group that you belong to, 14, how many
It's,
guys?
it's called a Group F14.
Okay, now,
Right. We all started about 2002.
yeah, how many guys are in it?
So right now, 10.
Oh, wow.
We have only 10 guys.
Are you the only one outside Japan?
Yeah. I'm the only guy outside of Japan.
I don't think it's a.
Well, I just went there I just went there by myself. I just self-introduced myself to the group.
Yeah.
And I have Kobayashi was there.
Yeah.
Since then, and then we became good friends. And he introduced me to the group. He said, yeah, you should come along. Yeah, but if you come next year, bring an aircraft. So since then, I bring one aircraft every year.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I've met so many guys through Facebook. And just through Facebook, they're like inviting me to go over to
Oh,
show,
right,
just through Facebook.
Yeah.
I was really happy to see some Canadian content at the show.
Who did that?
That's a
It's one of the mall.
Mitsumoto-san.
Oh, you recognize this?
Also Mitsumoto-san. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Canadian F1.
Likes Canadian stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
know.
all
I know.
Canadian stuff.
Is that 32?
No, they're 48.
That's 48.
Both are 48s. Could be.
Yeah, he's got a very distinctive style when handling metallic paint. So you can see that there's very smooth surface
Yeah.
with a lot of different tones.
Yeah.
So I bet that he is using different brands of colors and bring them together.
Cutaway. That's definitely.
What scale's that?
Oh, this was a 32.
Of course.
Yeah. When I first went in 2019, I didn't see a lot of World War I. But this time around, I saw quite a bit of World War I. Featured tall. It's pretty cool. So of course, there's going to be some Gundams in this place. Matt, what scale is this? 48? 144? Because you can see like the size of the guy in the back. It's huge. Actually, oh, okay.
What is last one?
I saw these and surrounded. These look pretty awesome, right? That's why I decided to pick one up, right? Because it looked pretty unique, at least to me. Then I go to the show and it's like pool table, whatever. Some more gun displays, diorama kind of displays. So they get into a lot of fancy. It's kind of like machine creep kind of type of stuff, which is pretty cool. These as well. Fish there. This model club is interesting because you guys are familiar with Miyazaki. The animator. Yeah, the animator. He has his own club, so the whole club actually makes models based on the characters of his movies. There's some more Miyazaki stuff. This one really caught my eye. I don't know if it's related to anything. So like I said, it's not only just guys there, there's females there as well. So this is the display of the all-female model group. And you get an idea of the kind of stuff that they build. still very impressive stuff.
I think female models are bigger in Asian countries.
Oh, yeah,
There's quite a few
definitely.
in Hong Kong too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know why there's fewer
And
here.
the women, I think, is Ukraine, where they do all the knights and the stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
uh,
So next big kit that you build and you have some leftover screw, you can make gun pants. Yeah, that's pretty fascinating. Cutaway of Apollo 17 module. This actually, I really like. This is probably my favorite game around of the show. It's Operation Overload. So load is heavy, and it's picked up the horse in the middle of the air, and then you have some LED guys in the back. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, this is kind of something that you actually see in North America as well. Well, you see there. It's,
Notice the base looks like a basket.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice touch.
A lot of cars, so obviously a lot of racing cars are pretty big. And this last slide is my favorite name of the model. They call it the concept Meatball. So it's the club name, and obviously they build Japanese aircraft. I think that's it for me. Anybody have questions or comments?
Nice.
All right.
Any North American companies there, or Bell, or anything? European?
Oh, the ICM.
ICO.
I see them there.
Yeah, ICM. Edward was not there.
I didn't see the Larry, so that wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's very, it's mainly Japanese, and some non-Japanese, but it's not like it's exclusive. I mean, if you go to some of the vendors, some of the areas, they have just the same products that we do.
Now, most of these companies are in that area, right, or gravitate.
Shizuoka,
It's
yeah.
just typical of the culture. But in terms of hobby stores themselves, are they spread out throughout Japan more?
Yes.
I mean, you and I have been happy about
Yeah.
but there's other stuff bouncing around.
Yeah, I mean, there's a hobby shop every 3 blocks, which is, it's because it's, again, it's so much part of the culture. You can actually go into a cafe and buy gun kits. Right? It's pretty crazy. Actually, before going further, actually included, so the first time I went to the show, I went to Shizuoka, and I was looking for a hobby store. I couldn't find a hobby store, right? But this time around, I was able to find one, and it's called Hobby Shop Sigma. And Harvey, I sent you this photo.
Yeah, it is.
I couldn't place what seat this is from. It's from Key 21, I think. Key 21 and 48, I think it wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, this kind of stuff you expect when you go into a hobby shop. You don't actually see you see like authentic stuff. Right? It's usually at the front. And it's so you see you get to see this authentic seat, and then you have gun kits in the back kind of thing, right? But it's this was a cool shop. But the next time I'm going to show you will probably blow your mind. So I also went to Kyoto. Kyoto, they have a hobby center in Kyoto, and of all the hobby shops that I visited, they have the most impressive display in the front. So here in Kyoto, they have like a real spinner from 109. They have a spinner propeller and a spinner propeller from the Focke-Wulf 190. They have Allison copy of the Merlin, and then Red Cyclone. And so these are real things, right? They're there. You walk in the hobby store and you see this, and it's like, oh man, am I ever in the right place?
Now, oddly, the hobby must be alive there, because even in Tokyo, some of the locations of hobby stores are in the heart of Tokyo. The rents must be astronomical.
Yeah.
But they're paying bills. People are shopping there.
Yeah.
It's very alive there.
So I didn't get a chance to go to that Ginza store. So Ginza is a posh area in Japan, right? And it's it's where the people who have to go. That's just kind of like the Yorkville in Toronto.
What were
But-
the amenities like in that area?
Sorry.
What were the amenities like in that area?
It's really dense, so there's lots to do, lots to eat, and lots to do on that area. Particularly in the Ginza area, yes, it tends to be a little more expensive. but in the area where Harvey visited, so this is it was a jewelry store, right?
It's a jewelry store, yeah.
So it's a jewelry store in a posh neighborhood, but around the corner they sell model kits, right? Because I think it's because the owner really it's a model builder. He grew up as a model builder, so he really likes that part of it. I guess he really brings in the bucks. But again, it's part of the love of the hobby that you see in the day-to-day people.
In that store, because he's a jeweler, he had the photo etch kits, which I presume he made and sold there. You won't get them anywhere else. And they're not just your run-of-the-mill photo etch kits that are not much, like they're detailed. They're really good, and they're to scale. So they're cutaways with all the ribbing. So I think I bought 2, but yeah, you just don't see stuff like that.
When they had the main show, was there any people that do resin instead of just injection molding?
There were a few, but the ones that I saw weren't actually Japanese. I had this couple Australian guys come in. The guy was doing some fantastic 135 scale figures, but he did resin. But I didn't see a heck of a lot of resin out in the line. Hey, thanks guys.
Actually,